What up YouTube? My name is Happiness and welcome to my channel. So we're gonna look at this lawsuit between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, and also we're gonna get this other influencer opinions, because like it seems like he can break down the full lawsuit for us compared to most of these commentators on TikTok. Blake Lively's team is seeking a strict confidentiality order in her lawsuit against It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni, arguing that without it, sensitive information would be leaked to the press and harm her reputation. During a court hearing on Thursday, Lively's attorney Gavinsky emphasized that a standard protective order would be sufficient given the involvement of publicists with media connections. So Lively has accused Baldoni, who also directed the film, of sexual harassment and launching a smear campaign against her. In response, Baldoni has filed a defamation lawsuit against both Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds. As the case processes, both parties are disputing the level of confidentiality required in the discovery process.
Zelensky was asked to leave the White House. Then he appeared on Fox News and said he thinks he can still salvage his relationship with President Trump, which is like Justin Baldoni saying, "I'd love to work with Blake again."
Okay, now I'm also gonna look at this thing whereby also they're accusing of Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is also being accused of sex trafficking, all those stuff, you see. So I don't know why in Hollywood is it the case whereby in order to destroy somebody's reputation we use such things. But hence I'm gonna go back to saying that as long as you are proving you are innocent until proven guilty, I do not condone such behavior whereby you sexually harass or do such bad stuff. You see, even sex trafficking, that is something that's bad. But in terms of that, as long as you are innocent until proven guilty. But on my opinion in terms of this case is that what I can say is that why would most of the time, if you want to destroy a person's reputation, if it's a man, you would use something like a sexual offender, sexual harassment, sex trafficker, rape, and all of those stuff. Because we might look at most of these famous celebrities going to recently talking about P. Diddy, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and also Harvey Weinstein. So in these people who I just mentioned, like right now, like as long in the court you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So all of the people that I just mentioned right now, yes, we all know they are guilty of the crime that they did. But in terms of, because in Hollywood I see it's a thing whereby in order to accuse a man of such stuff, in order for you to ruin their reputation, would work much better in them causing their downfall. So yes guys, and what I heard from what I was listening to other people's opinions, they were saying that Blake wants sort of like the production of that movie that they were filming with Justin Baldoni. But in terms of that, it seems like also Ryan Reynolds, who is the famous Deadpool actor, sort of like he was sort of like jealous of Justin Baldoni, seeing that it seems like he was starting to his wife was starting to create feelings for Justin Baldoni. Blake was starting to have feelings for Justin Baldoni. So, which is what some people feel that's how this lawsuit started. Maybe it's because of jealousy, because of an affair, or maybe is it because Blake wanted to take over the movie so that once she took over the movie, or maybe because the movie would be able to win an Oscar. So for myself, I'm not good at explaining this stuff, but the person who can explain it much more deeper is this influencer, to which I'm gonna play his video so that you guys can understand part for part his series in terms of how he breaks down this lawsuit. So I'm gonna put his name so that you can follow his TikTok and you can watch his 10-part episode on TikTok, whereby he explains and breaks down the lawsuit. And also, I just want to add that if it's the case that Ryan Reynolds wanted to destroy Justin Baldoni's reputation because of him thinking that he was having an affair with his wife, to show that the build up to the evidence that was built up in this lawsuit, because there are some stuff that we never knew that happened in Ryan Reynolds' movie Deadpool, to which we are starting to know right now, whereby one person died on shoot of the movie. So let's look at this person breaking down this lawsuit, and after that I'll come back to my opinion in terms of what also do I have to say. But I don't feel that I have much more to say, but let's look at this guy's breaking down the lawsuit.
Another piece of evidence that is very damning to Blake Lively and wasn't in the original lawsuit that Justin Baldoni filed, which is why I said I wanted to see proof of this, is they do in fact have proof that they screen tested both Justin Baldoni's version of the film as well as Blake Lively's version of the film with an audience, and they scored his significantly higher, 20% higher, rated his film as excellent versus Blake Lively's version. And significantly, the only group that it polled well with was actually men, which is not the target audience for this film. Need I remind you, since it's become completely lost, that this film was about domestic violence and was a film for women. So Justin Baldoni kind of rightfully used this as evidence that they should have used his version of the film. But Blake Lively reneged on her promise and insisted that her version be released to the public instead of Baldoni's cut, even claiming that the book's author, Colleen Hoover, would refuse to promote the film as well if Blake Lively's version was not chosen. Okay, you guys know these pages. Basically, he was shunned from the film. He had a spinal cord injury. He was in the hospital. He was sent to the basement for his own premiere, which is pretty terrible. And then another significant aspect is Blake Lively was adamant about getting the PGA designation mark. So this is a coveted producer credit that is taken very seriously in Hollywood. So the only reason that I think that Blake Lively wanted this so bad is I believe that she possibly thought that she was going to receive an Oscar for this film, if not for Best Actress, which is hilarious. She would never obviously get that. But if the film was nominated for Best Picture, the producers are the ones that receive the Oscar. So if she has the PGA credit, that's a huge thing for her resume to have an Oscar. So I think that's the reason why she had that. And then ultimately when they said no, that's when she messaged them and said, any goodwill between us is done. So that was her red line. After, they still capitulated to her and eventually gave her the PGA credit, but apparently it wasn't enough for Blake after seemingly getting literally everything that she wanted, according to these receipts. And she still decided to make this public. Another piece of this lawsuit that I think most people missed is a very subtle Taylor Swift call out here. So listen to this. The other cast members also unfollowed Baldoni, creating the false impression that Baldoni had done something wrong. Lively was leaving what she had earlier referred to as crumbs, a social media strategy she had learned from a close celebrity friend to give fans just enough to allow them to come to their own conclusions, thereby launching an army of detectives that, on information and belief, Lively hoped would turn against Baldoni. So they're alleging that Lively orchestrated this and sort of left the breadcrumbs. I think that's an obvious reference to Taylor Swift, who is known to sort of leave little hints and unfollow people and do this and that because she knows she's under such a microscope. She can do the tiniest little thing to completely shift the narrative in such a dramatic way. Now, you might be wondering, but why did Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds care so much about taking over this film? And I think the obvious explanation is that they wanted the rights to the sequel. It was a commercial success. I believe that Blake Lively saw how successful Deadpool was and wanted to emulate that and thought that this was her moment. And she used her husband's power of owning his own production company to extort the rest of the cast members into complying because they wanted to be part of the sequel.
Okay, guys, you heard what he just said. I said for myself that, but for myself, I would say that it's rather better to say innocent until proven guilty. I'm not siding with anyone. I'm not saying he did or she says that, to which I feel that no, he is the guilty one or she is the guilty one. Let's let the justice system do its job so that at the end there would be a verdict and we would know if maybe Justin Baldoni is guilty or innocent, so that we can understand maybe if Blake Lively was right or was she wrong. So thank you for watching my channel. Please like and subscribe, and let's meet up at the next video. Peace out.